Greetings. My name is Dr. Mary Mwangi, and I'm going to share with you in this short video how to add elements to our course in ItsLearning. I'm going to assume you have logged into the platform, you have selected the class that you want to add elements to. You have created the course and now you are in that course and you want to add elements to that course. So we add elements, and by elements I mean it could be either an activity such as an assignment or a discussion thread, or you want to add an exam, or you want to add to post notes for students and so on and so forth. So what I have done now, what I'm doing now, let me go back. I want to add some elements to the course that I have called New Student Orientation. So I will click on the course, or you click on that course, and ideally, the best place to add different things to your course is through the Resources tab. Excuse me. So when you click on the menu for Resources, then you will notice here to the far left, you have options to add. This add button is what you look for to be able to add different things to the course. Now, what I'm going to do is I will click on that, and you'll see that when I click on the add button there, then I have a number of things that open up, giving me options of the element I could choose to add. So I can either add a resource selected from any of these, or based on the type of resource I want to add, I can choose to add a folder or a file or a link, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, and so on, notes, or a page. Or I can add an activity. And among the activities, there is a selection of the different types of activities I could add, either an assignment or a discussion, learning path, and so on, the registration, survey, and then further down you'll see task and test. So for this particular segment, I want to add a folder, and I'm going to, because I want to organize this course in parts. Like you can see, I've been organizing it in terms of part 1, part 2, part 3. I want to add a folder, which I will call part 4. Now, for your purposes, you probably want to organize your course by the weeks. You know, for example, we teach for 14 weeks. Maybe you want to organize the materials and the activities that you want your students to do by the week. So maybe you want to organize it in week 1, week 2, week 3, all the way until week 15. So you will label your folder. For example, you label it week 1. But for myself, because I'm adding elements to the orientation for new students, I want to call it, I want to click on the folder, and I'm going to call that folder part 4, going by the system I've been using to put materials here for the new students. And I'm going to call it I'll call it academic. No, let me call it orientation resources. Sorry. And if you want to, under the description segment here, you can describe what kind of resources these are. And I'll say maybe these documents will help you integrate into the iEdu student community. Then that's it. That's just to give the people who are going, the users of this folder, an idea of what is contained. And then you click, once you label the folder, you click save. Now, I've created a folder that will have orientation resources. Then what I need to do next is to go into that folder and add resources to the folder. Now, when I click on that folder, like I've done now, I get another add button. I want to first differentiate between the add button that comes under the folder and the one that was there before, this one that is in line with the folders. If you want to add an element into a particular folder, you need to click on that folder like I've done so that you can see the add button that comes under the folder. And when I click on that add button now, then I can add elements into that folder. So for example, I want now to add, here I want to add, maybe I want to add some notes. And I'm going to choose the option called page to add some notes for students for that in that folder. So if I click on page, then the platform takes me to a space where I can add some materials, and I want to change the title. I don't want to call it new page, otherwise I'll have too many new pages. I want to add something that I will call, maybe I'll call it welcome. Welcome notes. And I'll click on that. I'll click to save that title of that page that I'm adding. Then what you will see is that I have below that title, I have an option to add content block. And that is what you need to click to upload the document that you have called, that rather I'll click on that to add the document I have called the welcome notes. So if I click on that, it takes me to my files where I can select either to upload a file or files or images or polls or rich content and so on. And because I want to add some notes there, I click on files and I'm calling that the file welcome notes. You repeat that here, welcome notes. And then you have the opportunity now to choose the file that you are calling welcome notes. So when you click on that, it takes you to the folders and the files in your computer, the documents that are saved in your computer, and you will select the one that you want. So let's suppose I'm picking a file from this folder. Now, let me see. Mm. Let's suppose I'm picking a document from this folder. So perhaps it is that one called sequence of graduation events. You click on it and then you click open and it will upload in this section. And let me just go ahead and do it. Then I'll remove because I don't need to keep it there. You can see the file has been selected. The next step is you say upload. And then you click OK. And you can see that that file has now been uploaded into this space. Now, of course, I'm doing this to demonstrate, so it's not consistent. I should have labeled my, actually, I can even now, I can change. Maybe that is helpful for you. If you realize that you used the wrong title for the particular folder or file that you are putting in, you can change here. Let me call it just so that you can see. Let me call it with a title. Let me give it a title that is consistent with what I've uploaded. Sequence. Yes, I can change it that way and it will read consistently. And that's the document is there. Now, when your students come to the login and they come to this segment, they will be able, you can guide them now in the classroom and tell them, go to part 4 and look for sequence of graduation events, and they will log in and they will be able to come to this document. Can click on it and it will open up and they will be able to see that document. You can also add a different type of activity. Perhaps in part 4, I want them to do a test. If I want to add a test, then I will, in part 4, then I will click on add, the add button, which is within the folder that I want to add the test in. And I will come to the segment 4. No, let me add an assignment. I think it will be easier for this time. And I will click on assignment, and the platform gives me an opportunity to title the assignment. Let me call it term paper. I want the students to submit a term paper. And under the description, I can explain what I want the term paper to be, the guidelines for the term paper. And then, so I would perhaps, this has all been, you probably will have done all this in your course syllabus, but so you can actually copy and paste the instructions here, or you can key them in like I'm doing now, submit a 10-page 10-page term paper on whatever the title is. And once you have done that, you want to put the settings. So you will want the term paper to be submitted on a particular day. So you come to this section. I hope you can see my cursor. where you click on add scheduled visibility. No, sorry, let me go to the deadline. You want to indicate that perhaps you want that term paper to be submitted by the 20th of August, and the deadline will be at 23:59. That's midnight, 1 minute to midnight. And you also want for assignments, you always want to activate the plagiarism control button. So if you scroll down on this right-hand side of the page, you will further down, you'll come to this section here where it says plagiarism control. You need to activate that. You click on it so that you can put that, select and place a tick, and then it asks you to determine whether you want to allow students to see the plagiarism report. You click on it also so that the student can see whether they have plagiarized or not. And once you've done that, I think the only other thing you will need to do is to select how you want to mark, to assess the work. And I would normally, for assignments, I would normally select score so that I can determine the maximum score. I can state here, perhaps I'm going to grade this out of 20. And so I enter the score there, and the students will know that this assessment will be graded out of 20. And once you've done that, now you've done the settings, then now you need to click on create. Once you have created the assignment, it means that the students now, from their end, they will see the assignment called term paper, and they can log in, see the term paper, and then they can upload the assignment there. I'll stop here and look forward to the next recording.